So this is just going to be a video on a little bit of the advanced configuration of Inventor in Configurator, just to try to address a couple of common bill of materials issues that pop up from time to time. These are all just basically Inventor configurations that that will help you to get what you're actually after. So if you're finding that when you go to your bill of materials, the bill of materials is actually not structured or not displaying what you want, I'll show you a quick example. If I go into my bill of materials now, or I start my new configuration, I can see in this case, what I'm doing here is I'm actually using a component which is two different files, but they are essentially the same part number, which means that when you go to look at your bill of materials for that particular component, you'll see in here, your bill of materials will have just the 3 lines, and you can see exactly that here. Now, if you change one of the lengths of one of them, then you may want those to be displayed in 2 separate records in your BOM. Instead of a quantity of 2 on this particular pipe, you might want a quantity of 1 and 1, and then we put the length at the end there. So in this case, what I might do is I might just change dimension A to be, let's say 250. And I'll just get the configurator to update that, that sizing. And you can see the configurator is done now. I'll go back in and I'll look at my next one. In this case, under Inventor Models, I can see the updated bill of materials. And let me close this one down. Now I can see that there is a 1 and 1 on the straight lengths. Now I've been able to do this by essentially removing the grouping of and changing how I'm exporting those parameters so that they display differently in the bill of materials. So to do that, it's basically just some Inventor work. I just go into Inventor. This is the master model that I'm using, and in the master model, I just need to go into each of these components and make sure that I'm exporting that value. So there's the value that I'm exporting there, the length. And if I right click on that one and choose custom property formatting, I might want to, and in this case I do want to, remove the units, remove leading and trailing zeros. So that leaves me with a 1, 2, 4 value. That's what's being exported. So that is being exported now and therefore is accessible in the bill of materials. And in this bill of materials, I can see from this case, I've got length in here, and that's the exported value. So I might just put a little dash in there and a little dash in this one. So now, let me make sure I commit. So now in this base model here, if I look at parts only, I might enable that and enable that. Parts only will show, in this case, 2 of these and 1 flange and 1 elbow. That's normal. But the moment I change the value of one of those lengths, and I can just do that through my parameters here. So I'll change this one to 250. I've got this length now is different to this length. So now when I go back into my bill of materials, the bill of materials in the parts only now has 2 entries. And that's because I've formatted the this part number to basically equal using this parameter here, this field expression here, which is being exported from the part file itself. Once I've done that, I can now get that exact information in my configurator bill of materials. So I'll just close this one down, do a new one. I might just get rid of these dummy iterations here, just so that we're not getting confused by them. And let's close this down, try again. So now I'll just refresh this page, go back to the generic one. So it's just generated that new iteration, and under Inventor models, I've got exactly as I expect. And this time it's got the dash in there. And now if I change the length of one of them, maybe I change this to 3 now. Let the update happen. Now if I go back, not into Inventor, back into here, go to the next iteration that was just generated, I can see both rows here. So that's how I get my bill of materials to be adjusted based on what I want the output to be in the BOM.